chosen ones, government demons can decode your next move. Stay unpredictable. It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. Consider this your rallying shout against every oppressive force lurking in the corridors of power, every cunning agent determined to pinpoint your next breath. The time has come for you, dear chosen one, to rise against the shadowy illusions trying to box you in. They want your spirit contained and your power harnessed. You, however, are done playing by the rules of predictability. You have the force of the uncharted, the unstoppable, burning in your veins. Each day you walk free is an act of defiance, a cosmic wave no government demon can track or decode. If you feel the electric charge of this declaration, like this video, subscribe, and comment 77 feet below to declare you're ready for the extraordinary shift knocking at your door. Chapter 1. The Unreadable Code. You carry from the moment you began to awaken, you sensed you possessed something indecipherable, an energy or resonance that never quite conformed to the rigid patterns around you. Maybe it was the way you felt a distinct hush in your soul whenever you encountered injustice, or how your instincts alerted you to deception before evidence appeared. You became aware that your mind processes life differently, forming an internal language no outsider could fully interpret. This language, dear chosen one, is the essence of your unpredictability, the code the so-called government demons cannot crack. You see, these forces survive by classification. They categorize people into neat little boxes: ally, threat, ignorant, compliant. But your spirit rejects these static categories. Perhaps you once tried to fit in, to appear normal for the sake of peace, yet something always rebelled within. That quiet rebellion shaped your aura, an unreadable swirl of potential that no psychic infiltration or data mining technique can fully capture. They try to observe your patterns, your emotional triggers, but each time they think they have you pinned, you transform yet again. Is it a power you asked for? Not necessarily. At times it might feel like a burden, isolating you from a society that thrives on predictability. You might have endured suspicion, or perhaps your personal relationships suffered because people found your unpredictability unsettling. But in the grand design, this is precisely why you were chosen. The illusions of control that once caged the masses cannot contain a soul that has learned to morph, adapt, and pivot at will. The tension you sense in your environment stems from the friction between your fluid essence and an establishment that prizes routine and repetition. Every rule they enforce, every system they refine, aims to lock humanity into cycles easily managed by fear or compliance. But your presence disrupts that. You stand as proof that no matter how advanced the Watchers become, no matter how finely tuned their algorithms are, there remains a factor beyond their calculation: the raw synergy between your awakened will and the cosmic forces that back it. So the Watchers stare in exasperation. Jaw muscles tighten when their analyses fail to predict your next move. They can't figure out the direction of your next step, the shape of your next dream, or the timing of your next sleep. You elude them by your very nature, a living glitch in their matrix of control. Even in your quietest moments, the code in your spirit pulses with unstoppable life, untranslatable to their mechanical ears. And that, dear chosen one, is your greatest shield. No official measure can stifle an essence it cannot decipher. Even if they corral your physical presence, your spirit remains a free agent of divine design, forever rewriting itself. This is how you sabotage the illusions of absolute dominance they wish to impose. You are the living unreadable code, a sign that real freedom cannot be documented or detained. Let that truth burn bright in your soul as you stride past every boundary they erect, unstoppable in your unpredictability, unbroken in your fierce resolve. Chapter 2. The Reign of Illusions. You defy. Ever notice how the establishment thrives on illusions? They mask oppressive systems in sleek packaging, camouflage exploitation as progress, and brand docility as moral duty. These illusions are the glue holding together a narrative they need people to swallow without question. Yet every time you, the chosen one, decline to play along, you crack that veneer, revealing the brittle skeleton behind the facade. The more illusions you shatter, the more they realize their grip is not as ironclad as they boasted. Your refusal to bow to illusions is precisely what roused them. In a world where intimidation and conformity are currency, your non-compliance stands out like a beacon. The so-called government demons manipulate realities, rewriting history, contorting truths, all to sustain power. But illusions crumble before souls who see with unclouded vision. You've done the inner work. You've turned your gaze inward, unafraid to question what once seemed unshakable. This self-mastery and heightened dissentment become a sledgehammer against the illusions they try to serve. Of course, illusions aren't mere conjurations of smoke and mirror. They're embedded in everyday life, from carefully choreographed media to social norms that coax you into submission. Resistance doesn't always mean activism in the streets. Sometimes it's the subtle defiance of living authentically, refusing to cave when everything around you screams compliance. Each day you choose to follow your own rhythms. To question official stories, you erode a bit more of the unreality they push. It doesn't take a mass revolution to unsettle them. Just a chain of awakened individuals like you, unraveling illusions one thread at a time. A single question from a single person can ripple outward, prompting others to reevaluate assumptions they never thought to doubt. You might not see the entire chain reaction, but it occurs nonetheless. The watchers sense it, noticing their illusions, fail to unify the masses as strongly as before, because more and more souls are quietly tapping into a deeper sense of truth. This is why unpredictability rattles them. Illusions rely on patterned, predictable responses from the population. If they can forecast a reaction, they can channel your energy into the channels they design. But a rebellious spirit that leaps outside the lines? That's a threat beyond calculation. You step left when they anticipate right. You remain silent when they expect fury. You break into laughter when they bank on despair. Each unpredictable act short-circuits the illusions they orchestrate. So no matter how small a move feels, every time you decline to let illusions shape your reality, you assert your sovereignty. You are not a puppet, and your refusal to act as one disrupts the choreography they carefully stage. The meltdown of illusions may appear slow, even imperceptible, but it is inexorable. Each breath you take, free of their mental cages, fans the winds of change. Live, speak, and move as the unstoppable synergy you have become. Each decision becomes a sword slash at the tapestry of falsehood they weave, paving the way for the inevitable moment when their illusions collapse under the weight of unwavering, awakened souls. Chapter 3. Your unpredictable rhythm. If illusions rely on mapping out every move you make, then the surest way to remain free is to cultivate unpredictability in everything you do. This doesn't mean living recklessly or plunging into chaos, but rather having the courage to break out of the patterns that the watchers find so easy to track. Once you master unpredictability, you become the glitch in their carefully plotted system, a crack in the code that can't be patched. An unpredictable rhythm arises naturally when you trust your instincts rather than external schedules or norms. Perhaps you once conformed to standard routines, waking, working, resting at regular hours, moving through each day in methodical steps. That's precisely what they bank on, your allegiance to routine. But the chosen one in you has awakened, nudging you to deviate just enough to escape detection. Eat at different hours, rearrange your route, tune your spiritual practices to intuitive whispers instead of mechanical timetables. As your rhythms change, you confound the watchers who had grown reliant on your old patterns to surveil and manipulate. Yet unpredictability must flow from authenticity, not performance. To truly confound those who want to cage your energy, you act on divine impulses rather than calculated plans. Let your heart's guidance override your rational mind when it feels right. Choose a spontaneous trip that your careful planning never foresaw, or delve into a new study without logical steps leading up to it. The watchers expect linear progressions. You provide cosmic leaps and graceful sidesteps. Each pivot keeps them off balance, leaving them to chase the echoes of your last known movements. Yes, stepping into such fluid unpredictability may unsettle those around you who prefer consistency. But your freedom is not negotiable. If constant adaptation feels like a burden, remember the alternative, a life pinned under surveillance and routine, where your actions become legible lines on someone's chart. You have the power to scramble their data, to operate in a wave of spontaneity that refuses to be pinned down. This might mean occasional friction with well-meaning peers or confusion from loved ones, but your soul demands the spaciousness to roam without constraint. Unpredictability also fosters humility, a paradox that keeps your focus tethered to source. Because you can't rely solely on planning, you must remain in constant dialogue with the divine, calibrating each decision as it emerges. This synergy between your free spirit and God's subtle direction is what truly puzzles the watchers. How do they predict a dance choreographed by the cosmos? They can't. They watch you twirl through life's storms, uncatchable as vapor, acting in ways that appear random but serve a higher intelligence. Should fear flare, fear of taking the wrong step in your pursuit of unpredictability, lean on your unbreakable faith in that cosmic partnership. If you veer off track, your spiritual sense will nudge you back. Slip-ups become catalysts for deeper intuition, not catastrophic ends. By weaving spontaneity with reverent openness to divine signs, you achieve the unstoppable synergy of a soul that can't be herded or lured into predictable cycles. Indeed, your greatest shield is this agile rhythm, a spontaneous waltz that flips the watcher's illusions on their heads and keeps your spirit dancing freely on the stage of an ever-shifting world. Chapter 4. The Network of Unseen Allies. Even as you carve a path of unpredictable moves, you'll discover you aren't dancing alone. There's an unspoken network of kindred souls who sense your electric presence, fellow chosen ones or watchers turned sympathizers who grew tired of the status quo. They resonate with your refusal to be pinned down, and though they may not announce themselves openly, a quiet web of alliances forms, each strand weaving a protective tapestry you never knew existed. You sense them in passing, a nod from a stranger who recognizes your aura, a fleeting conversation that confirms your shared defiance. These alliances can be subtle, forged in a single glance that exchanges more information than 1,000 words. Some might provide resources you need at just the right moment, or direct you to insights you'd never find alone. Without formal structure or advertisement, this network extends beyond borders or cultural lines, bound by the universal vow to remain free from oppressive illusions. Working within this covert synergy, you realize your unpredictability multiplies. It's no longer just your personal moves that the watchers can't predict, but a collective swirl of independent, awakened players acting in concert. If one is cornered, the rest respond, yet not in a linear or expected way. Even you may not fully grasp how many supporters stand ready until the moment you need them. The watchers, for their part, watch in exasperation as plans to isolate or corner an individual dissolve in the face of an entire community that doesn't follow their scripts. Beware, though. Not everyone claiming to be an ally is genuine. The watchers may plant decoys, attempt infiltration, or sow seeds of discord. This is where your heightened intuition and your unstoppable connection to the divine come into play. You'll sense the difference between genuine camaraderie and contrived performance. Trust those gut tugs that either open your heart to a new ally or stiffen your spine with caution. In this realm, sincerity glows unmistakably. Forced alliances remain pallid and easy to detect for those who truly see. As your circle of allies expands, so does your capacity for impact. Perhaps you join forces for a creative venture that shatters illusions, or rally to protect someone under spiritual attack. The synergy magnifies unpredictability on a collective scale, forging a labyrinth of supportive energy that watchers can't map. This is the power of awakened community. Each individual retains their autonomy, yet you all move in a resonant pattern that evolves by the day. No central blueprint exists for the watchers to seize and dissect. In such a vibrant web, your mission becomes clearer. You see, you are not simply evading oppressive forces, you're blazing a trail for others to see that real liberation is possible. By linking hearts with other rebellious souls, you shape an environment where freedom is more than a slogan. it's a lived reality. The Watchers might intensify their efforts, confused by a phenomenon they can't confine to a single group or ideology, but the more they press, the more your alliances thrive, proving that authenticity and shared vision can flourish under any attempt at suppression. Chapter 5. Decoys and Mind Traps. You elude no oppressive system operates without cunning maneuvers. As you ascend in unpredictable brilliance, the Watchers may deploy decoys, false narratives, enticing illusions, or even fake chosen ones who appear out of nowhere, claiming to have the same spark you do, but leading you into mental mazes. Their aim is to sap your momentum, to corral you back into a pattern that can be observed, cataloged, and ultimately controlled. So brace yourself, for these mind traps are as alluring as they are deceptive. They might present a cause that appears righteous, luring you with potent emotional triggers, only for you to discover you've been funneled into a narrow echo chamber. Or you may encounter a seemingly benevolent figure who resonates with your spiritual language, but upon deeper scrutiny, peddles an agenda that strips away your free will. These traps rely or lie on your empathy, your eagerness to stand for truth, and your longing to connect. You'll see them for what they are when your intuition raises alarms that logic can't yet justify. Of course, you're not powerless here. The synergy of your unpredictability, your bond with God, and your network of unseen allies gives you the vantage needed to spot inconsistencies. Pay attention to energetic signatures. Does an environment drain your vitality or expand it? Do the words of a self-proclaimed guru ring hollow, lacking the authenticity your spirit recognizes? Learn to part the veil of surface impressions. The Watchers underestimate how swiftly you can read energies, forgetting that your unpredictability stems from an acute sensitivity to subtle frequencies. Yet even as you grow adept at evading these plots, guard against complacency. Arrogance is another snare. Believing you're beyond the Watcher's cunning can blind you to fresh illusions they spin. Stay humble. Remember your reliance on divine guidance, and keep refining your discernment. Each time you narrowly dodge a trap, you gather intel on how the Watchers operate, converting their moves into further proof that no tool or infiltration tactic can fully disarm a living current of truth. In public discourse, you might encounter narratives that demonize those who challenge official lines, labeling them conspiracy theorists or dangerous radicals. If you capitulate to the fear of these labels, you willingly confine yourself to their interpretive frameworks. So instead, you stay fluid, neither confirming their illusions nor blatantly confronting them on their chosen battlefield. You bend the script, injecting unanticipated angles and calmly revealing cracks in the official logic. The Watchers can't calibrate your approach, flailing as they attempt to stoke your defensiveness. You remain beyond their grasp by virtue of shifting along a higher impetus they cannot measure. Ultimately, every decoy or mind trap you elude fuels the Watcher's frustration and cements your reputation as a beam they cannot decode. For each cunning plan they deploy, you answer with an even greater synergy of heart, mind, and cosmic alignment, making your next move more opaque than the last. The Watchers scramble, jaws set in grim lines, vainly scanning for a pattern that no longer exists. By the time they realize you've exited the labyrinth, you stand in fresh territory, forging the next milestone in your unstoppable saga. Chapter 6. The Synergy of Spirit and Strategy. In the swirling dance of unpredictability, it's easy to assume you're simply improvising, guided solely by your spiritual instincts. Yet a deeper truth emerges. Your success stems from a synergy of spirit and strategy, each balancing the other like the wings of a soaring eagle. You might receive a sudden divine nudge, an impulse to leap, and your mind, disciplined by experience, shapes that impulse into a calculated move. This melding of the sacred and the practical forms an unbreakable chain of cause and effect that the Watchers can't decipher. It's not about cunning alone, nor pure mysticism, but weaving the two into a single tapestry of action. Consider those times you had a gut feeling to break your routine, which led you to a crucial encounter, or the moments you meticulously planned a bold step, only to remain flexible enough for cosmic guidance to reshape your plan. In each instance, your synergy confounds attempts of manipulation. You're neither fully beholden to left-brain logic nor floating in abstract spiritual realms. You harness both, forging a path that feels natural yet defies linear prediction. This synergy also secures your resilience. When an assault, psychic or political, targets your vulnerability, your spiritual armor activates. Simultaneously, your strategic mind identifies countermeasures to neutralize the threat. No single angle suffices to keep you free. You merge the intangible power of faith with the tangible discipline of measured decision-making. Watching from their high towers of data, the watchers see you bend but not break, pivot but never yield. Each time you shift direction with effortless grace, they record a glitch in their system, an enigma in their notes. A part of you might marvel at your own evolution. Perhaps you once felt uncertain about everything, swayed by shifting circumstances. Now you feel a hum in your center, an unwavering signal that clarifies your path no matter how turbulent the external environment grows. This is the ultimate fruit of synergy, a state of equilibrium that persists even as you remain mobile and open to adaptation. It is not static peace, but a dynamic, ever-present calm that anchors your unstoppable progress. Occasionally, you'll sense the watchers attempting to exploit what they think is your pattern. They might preempt your moves, expecting you to rely purely on spiritual leaps or strictly on methodical steps. But each time, you respond with the balanced unpredictability they dread. Your spiritual core leads you to surprising decisions, while your rational discipline consolidates each victory, ensuring you don't squander your advantage. It's a fluid interplay, reminiscent of a master chess player who sees multiple moves in advance, with the added dimension of divine insight that no mere strategy can replicate. And so, you continue your dance, each move echoing your bond with a higher force that dwarfs illusions of control. Your synergy stands as the watcher's unsolvable puzzle, the manifestation of what a human being can accomplish when guided by faith and honed by logic. Each day, you hone this synergy further, refining it into an art form that both accomplishes your worldly aims and radiates a spiritual wake-up call to anyone close enough to feel its undeniable presence. Chapter 7. A New Day Unfolds. Are you ready? The sky brightens with the first rays of a new day, and you stand at the brink of yet another horizon, your spirit crackling with anticipation. You've defied illusions, confounded the watchers, built alliances, and mastered the art of unpredictability. Now, as dawn creeps across the land, you can't help but wonder what fresh challenges or revelations lie just over the next hill. The watchers remain out there, scanning for any sliver of your routine they might exploit. But you are beyond routine. You've become a living testament to an ever-shifting synergy of faith and strategy. In this new day, your footsteps feel lighter, as though gravity itself has relented under the weight of your unstoppable conviction. You note the hush of the morning air, a kind of cosmic applause that greets your willingness to keep evolving. You might recall the darkest nights when you questioned every step, but those doubts are now but distant memories. A subtle thrill pulses within your chest, the thrill of standing in a realm few dare to approach. This sense of possibility resonates not just in your personal journey, but in the collective journey of every chosen one. You realize that others, maybe in different corners of the world, are experiencing the same surge of clarity and unpredictability, forging a tapestry of liberated souls who refuse to be typed, predicted, or cowed. Some you'll meet in person, others you'll sense only through the shifting currents of global energy. Either way, each person who awakens strengthens the wave that keeps illusions on the run. The watchers might double their efforts, unveiling new tactics or advanced technologies aimed at corralling the unstoppable force you represent. They may label you a disruptor, an outlier, or a cosmic anomaly, but at your core, you remain calmly assured that no external label can shape what God has already ordained. Let them labor in their confusion. Your pack stands with something far beyond data or algorithms. What next? The day brims with promise, beckoning you to choose a path or to craft one of your own design. The final question, whispered by the morning light, is whether you're truly prepared to cast off the last remnants of caution and step further than you've ever gone before. Because that's what your synergy calls for. Continuous evolution, perpetual motion, and ceaseless leaps into a fate that spirals upward. Each time you respond with faith, answers swirl in your heart, but you need not voice them now. Perhaps you'll pivot with the next hour's intuition, or maybe your purpose will crystallize over days of silent waiting. Either way, your unstoppable synergy has already reshaped your destiny, and you sense that, no matter how the Watchers respond, the unveiling of your next iteration is inevitable. So stand on this threshold, dear chosen one, savoring the hush before your next move. They can try to decode your signals, track your daily patterns, or project your likely outcomes. Yet your union with the divine ensures you'll slip through their models, forging a new day that unfolds in directions only your cosmic alliance can foresee.